Hello, my name is TJ Parcell, and I'm the director of this short film on prison sexual safety. But I'm also an ex-convict. When I was 17 years old, I was sent to an adult prison in Michigan for robbing a photomat with a toy gun. We recognize that coming to prison can be an overwhelming experience for anyone, but especially if it's your first time.
It was shocking.
I really didn't know what to expect.
It's scary.
You're stripped of everything. You have to shower with the delicing and, they shove things at you. You sign here, sign there, and then you just get, locked in a cell.
At 17 years old, I was young, naive, and I weighed 158 pounds. I didn't last 24 hours in general population before a group of inmates spiked my drink with Thorazine and then lured me into an empty cell. I was gang raped. I'm telling you this because I don't want this to happen to you. I was in prison over 30 years ago, and things have changed a lot since then. The purpose of this video is not to scare you, but to help you do your time more safely. In the making of this film, we spoke to dozens of current and former inmates. We wanted you to hear from the experts, the men and women who have served their time in New York State.
My name is Anthony J. Annucci, and I am the Acting Commissioner for the New York State Department of Corrections and Community Supervision. I want to talk to you today about an important federal law called the Prison Rape Elimination Act. The inmates, the officers, and the staff that you see standing behind me have all agreed to talk to you openly and honestly about the law, how to avoid sexual abuse, what to do if you are sexually threatened or abused, and the investigation process. I want to personally communicate to you that New York State has a zero-tolerance policy for sexual abuse and harassment. What that means very simply is this: even one incident of sexual abuse or harassment is one too many. Anyone who is found to have sexually abused or harassed another person will be disciplined and will be punished to the maximum extent of the law. In conclusion, let me assure you the department wants to do everything within its power to provide you with a safe and humane confinement while you are serving your sentence of imprisonment. Thank you and stay safe.
When I came to prison, I was 21.
I was 23 years old when I first came in.
28 years old.
I was 30 years of age.
44.
I was 20 years old.
I was 18.
19.
19.
40.
26 years old.
When I first came through the system, I was 16 years old.
People deal with incarceration in different ways, but fear for a new person is probably the single factor, because people want to survive and no one wants to be victimized.
For a young person who's not street smart, coming into this situation, it's a culture shock.
I had never been incarcerated before, so I was a newbie. I was scared to death.
The stories that I had heard, people being robbed and the chaos that was taking place and, the stabbings, and so all of that type of information scared the life out of me.
A lot of guys, looking at you and trying to read you out and stuff of that nature. So I was kind of scared when I first came to prison.
And I have a feminine voice with feminine attributes, even though I'm, a straight male. So I feared that I would have problems.
I've heard so many stories about prison. Scary stories.
I was more afraid of the things that I've heard about prison.
When we're down there in the Rock, we want to tell war stories, and we want to, a guy wants to sit and listen, and all the war stories are not always good for the heart.
I didn't know what to expect. All I seen stuff on TV, and I just knew that I didn't want to be a victim.
Initially, when I first came into prison, I was afraid to an extent, and the way I handled my fear was to be very aggressive.
Many other people, they're afraid too. That's the reality. Okay, everyone that they see that they think, are looking real mean and rough and tough, when they go behind them cells, when they closes that cell door at 10 o'clock at night, they're crying, they're, say, phew, I got through that day.
For me, everybody was a predator. That's how I viewed everybody. My motto back then was trust nobody and proceed with caution.
There was many young people coming through the facility, and they was the ones that was mostly getting approached by individuals that might prey on them for sexual advances or what have you.
When I first came to jail, this is 1979, 1980, 1981. Times was much more different. A lot of extreme violence. There was rape. Today we don't see that much of it, but it happens. It's more disguised in friendships.
A bunch of guys grabbing you and throwing you in a cell and raping you. Those days, thankfully, that's the past. Subtle manipulation is what's prevailing today.
Guys not just punching you in the face and pulling down your pants today. It's a process of maybe deception and trickery and manipulation and peer pressure.
As far as, that whole image of, 10, 15 guys jumping in the shower, doesn't really happen nowadays. It's more of a mental manipulation where they gradually groom you.
I was looking out for that person that they called Bubba. And today, almost 18 years later, I realized that in fact is a misconception. Predators, believe it or not, come in all shapes, sizes, races. They listen to all different genres of music. Predators look like us.
There's a sense of loneliness that you feel walking into the facility, right? You don't know anything. You don't know where to go, where to walk, who to talk to, how to figure things out. How does the phone run? When do they call mess hall? So what happens, the first guy that approaches you, oftentimes you feel like he is trying to be your friend.
What happens is a new person would come into one of the housing units and he'd be approached. Someone would come to him and say something like, listen, if you need some slippers for the shower, I'm sure you didn't get your property yet. You can use my slippers. If you need some soap, I got that. I have underwear, whatever you need, I got you.
The first trap I fed into was when they said, excuse me, don't I know you? Where you from? And as soon as I said, oh, I'm from the Bronx, right away, oh yeah, you my homeboy, I know you, da 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 da. And me being naive to the system, I went along with it. And it was like, well, this is my homeboy, give him extra food, potatoes, bread, extra cake, whatever he wants.
The trickery comes from that person who's tricking you, making you feel like you owe him.
And they asked me, was I all right? Did I need anything? And I was like, I could use a few things, what you got? The next day, I found some potato chips, some candy bars, and some soap on my bed, I didn't think nothing of it, my homeboys are looking out. So I ate it, took a shower, whatever.
I would warn the young man, when you come in, to be very, very careful of who you befriend and how that person is trying to come on to you.
I came back, dude, this time, the whole line is looking at me and they all smiling. So, yo, you all right, homeboy? Everything's good, yo, He said, you can come down to the bathhouse. We all hang out there. As a matter of fact, come on down tonight. We'll be waiting. I was geared up. I was ready to go. Like I'm gonna hang out with my homeboys.
I guess a clue would be when someone is too anxious to be your friend. Someone who offers things to you without any prompting.
I went to recreation that day, to the yard, and I ran into another friend from Rikers Island that I knew from the streets. He asked me what was going on, and I told him. And he says, well, are any of the guys around in the yard? And I said, sure, they standing right over there looking at us. And he went over there and He addressed the situation, but afterwards he schooled me. And he said, you know, you gotta be more aware. Whatever you do in here, if you don't know somebody, do not accept anything from them.
They'll try to, you know, gain a trust factor, you know, may engage you in playing cards, playing chess, you know, get you comfortable to be isolated with them. And then I seen where the opportunity, you know, the person takes advantage of that.
Working out is part of prison life, but you need to be smart about what you're doing on the weight pile. Personally, I like to work out by myself, but if you need to work out with somebody, you need to choose your workout partner wisely. Predators can come in many forms and come at you from many different angles, so you need to be aware of what you're doing at all times and stay safe.
These are strong guys, right? So you might see them in the gym, you know, you might be working out and things of that nature, and you might want the body they got, the physique they got. They like to spot you from the back, hold on to your waist.
A spotter should be giving you some space. A predator is gonna attempt to invade your space. He's gonna get his leg over you, he's gonna come out, and he's probably gonna get his private area into your comfort zone. That's a negative. You see that happening, pull back, express your discomfort, address it, and it's all right to have boundaries.
You might have a person that like to do what we call legs or every week, all day, and 5 days out the week. We know that's not what you're supposed to do. Legs you do maybe once or twice a week.
If a guy's getting too touchy-feely, then you need to do something about it. If you feel uncomfortable, say something. These are some of the signs that maybe you need to find another workout partner.
What specific advice would you give to a new inmate coming in for the first time?
Initially, trust no one, because I believe that trust is something that's earned.
A lot of guys would say don't trust nobody, but looking back for me, I don't think that's healthy. I would just say that trust has to be earned.
You have to be careful in who you befriend and who you let in. And even something as simple or as small as opening that door, you don't know what door you can open to that or what their intentions are.
Don't share intimate information with somebody. Guard your privacy vigilantly from your letters, information about your family, your personal photographs, conversations about your relationship with families, particularly problems, or maybe your sexual history or orientation.
Choose somebody, preferably somebody that's coming in with you, that's new with you, that's also inexperienced. Whether they're street smart or not is irrelevant, but who's new to the environment with you. And create a little bond. It doesn't have to be nothing personal or serious, just somebody that we came through together.
Don't take a shower with no underclothes on, because that's a sign to a lot of them that you're new. Old timers or repeat offenders know that when you take a shower, you keep your underclothes on.
In shower areas, be mindful of good shower practices. Stay focused on your business, but be aware of your surroundings. Remember, a predator is less likely to act when others are around.
Predator will use the shower as an opportunity to get close. Don't let him. Never have a conversation with an inmate in an adjacent shower. And do not accept t-shirts, boxers, shower slippers, or soap items from another inmate. Those are sure signs of a predator that's getting too close.
Most people that are afraid, either they come in very loud, make people think they're tough, or they come in trying to fit in right away. Oh, can I cook with you? Can I do this? Can I sit here at this table? Like, they're trying to join something where they can be protected. Or they join a gang, or they become a Muslim, you know, anything for protection.
It's all right to be yourself and to not feel as though you have to portray a certain image. The more comfortable you are being who you are, the less likely someone else is going to be able to manipulate or turn who you are into something you don't want to be.
Don't try to be something or somebody you're not. that would minimize you bringing attention to yourself unnecessarily.
If you try and pretend that you're a tough guy and nothing affects you, they can tell if you're being phony.
Let's say, for example, if somebody bigger than you kind of a skinny guy, you come in, you think you're trying to be this hardened look, but you really don't have it, right? But another bigger guy, it comes in your presence, your instincts tell you, okay, like, look, you need to get away from this guy.
Those guys that try to tell people, the newer guys, this is how we do things, are usually trying to get them to do things the way they want things done, rather than really trying to help the people.
Just be true to yourself and, don't let the environment dictate who you're gonna become.
What would you tell a new inmate what to look for in terms of figuring out whether someone is safe or not?
I would tell him to hang out with the old timers for a while and observe.
You're gonna be around these people for some time, and before you engage or you tend to befriend anyone, observe them and see who they are. And you gotta see them with their friends and how they are. How they treat other people is who they really are. How people treat them is who they really are. We do have some good people in here, even though we have bad people as well.
Take your time, fall back, okay, and observe what's going on around you all the time. I remain cautious at all times is because I can control me, but I can't control you.
Nothing's free in here. Somebody offers you something, what is the reason? Is he just being a kind soul, or is he trying to buy you?
If you need something, go to the bubble, go to the CO. If you need toothpaste, go to the CO. If you need soap, go to the CO. Someone offers you soap, I'm good.
Predators play a lot of tricks. They got pulled because they've been there a long time. You might find a pack of cigarettes or some candy bars, something on your bed. Don't eat it. Take it off your bed, put it in front of your cell, and just leave it as it is. Because if you take that, that can be a debt that you can't pay back. It might cost you $1,000. That candy bar could cost you $1,000. And if you can't pay back the debt, then they want other things.
Lay low, stay out of trouble, you'll be fine.
You have to trust your gut instincts.
Do not gamble and do not use drugs. People in here are sharks, and the ones that don't know how to gamble are guppies. You think you know how to gamble, but you don't know you're being set up. And once you get in debt, then you have to pay off, one way or another.
Drugs can also play a role in encouraging a person to make poor choices.
What should an inmate do if he feels like he's being manipulated?
Well, self-preservation comes first, and your safety is paramount. It's not snitching when you're trying to protect yourself, so report it. Go to someone, tell someone. You don't have to give any names, you don't have to point anyone. Just say that I feel that my life is in danger and that you need to be removed from this situation.
To me, a snitch is a person that tells to either get you in trouble or to get some type of gain from it. Now, if something happens to me and I report it, I'm not snitching, I'm trying to get help.
Don't be afraid to speak to the staff. This is your life, at stake. People say, well, that's snitching. Is it really snitching when it comes to your life?
If my life is being threatened and, there's no other way around it but to let someone know that my life is threatened, okay, well, then that's what has to be done because I like to continue living.
Don't be afraid to tell, really. And you don't have to tell a CO. If you feel like that's snitching, you could tell anybody. Tell another inmate, tell an OMH person, tell a counselor, an ORC, tell your teacher. You can tell anybody, but tell somebody.
If you feel uncomfortable about something and you don't say anything, it gives him a green light to continue. And when he's refused, he's gonna get aggressive.
If you feel something is wrong, you need to speak up to somebody that can help you.
It's better to be safe than to live with an experience that'll last a lifetime.
Report it right away. Don't even hesitate. Forget what anybody else is going to say, because at the end of the day, you have to save your behind.
Is it wrong for a father to rape his stepdaughter and then she goes and tells the police? Or a son to be getting raped by an uncle and go to tell the police? I don't see it wrong. I don't see it as snitching.
Staying safe is not snitching.
It's not snitching when it concerns your safety.
Staying safe isn't snitching.
It took me a few weeks actually to trust someone enough to say, I'm afraid and I don't know what to do and who to go to.
If you've been sexually abused, it's important to seek medical attention right away. Do not wash, shower, brush your teeth, or go to the bathroom. Important forensic evidence can be gathered that can be used to hold your abuser accountable. We can also provide you with medical treatment that can reduce your risk of contracting HIV and other sexually transmitted diseases.
You have a right to be free from sexual abuse. The persons responsible shall be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. All complaints are taken seriously, thoroughly investigated, and you have a right to know the results of our investigation. You have an absolute right to report and to be free from retaliation.
My name is Mike Hill, and I'm one of the department's PREA compliance managers. The department has established many ways one can report sexual abuse, sexual harassment, or related incidents of retaliation. You can talk to an outside rape crisis center, and you can ask them to report for you. You can also write to the IG or Sexual Abuse Prevention and Education Office. If you want to report to someone outside of DOCS, you can write to the State Commission of Corrections. A family member can report on your behalf, including calling or emailing IG directly. You can file an inmate grievance or drop a slip. You can report to anyone at any time. The sooner you report, the sooner we can investigate.
My name is Jason Effman. I'm the Associate Commissioner in charge of the Sexual Abuse Prevention and Education Office. It doesn't matter what you did to come to prison. Sexual abuse is simply not part of the penalty. Whether we're talking about abuse by other inmates or by staff, even one incident of sexual abuse is too many. I hope you found this information useful. I want to reconfirm the department's commitment to your sexual safety. By working together, we can end sexual victimization in our facilities. Together, we can make our community safer for everyone. Thank you, and be safe.